expensive press. I think it was $119. And every time I see it online, it gets a little cheaper. But it works extremely well. If you want to back up and look at the video I did on assembling it, I did add these wooden blocks in here to take up all the slop that they had between these flats they have bent to fit around the channel. So right now it's set up to put the bearings in the fenders, which I didn't show. This is one of the large, this is the large side that goes on the differential, and this down here is the small one that goes on the other side by the chain case. And these are all pushers I made to press strictly on the outer edge of the bearing, not the center. You don't want to ruin the bearing. You can damage the balls or the races by pushing or hammering on these things. And these all just unscrew. I've made all these. When I got this press, I took it to work. I took this part off. I laid it on the mill upside down because this was not completely straight. I milled the bottom of this off. So now it's square with the top. And I drilled and tapped a hole in it to accept these 5/16 screws. And again, this is hollowed out, and it presses strictly on the outer edge of this bearing. I make all these things. Now, to get the needle bearings out of this chain case, you want to, I use this, it has a stop on it. You want to use a piece of pipe. It doesn't matter how long it is, as long as it's longer than the depth on this step on the cover. You don't want to bend this trying to press the bearing in. And this is a stop. Goes up through the bearing and it sticks up flush with the edge of this pipe. And let's see, we gotta get this one out. Just screw that in and tighten it a little. And this goes up inside of here. And we snug that up. And we can put this in here. Wish this thing had a little longer stroke for each pump. Takes a while to get down there. Now when I press these bearings out, I want to spread apart these plates so the stop can go through and press the bearing out. Otherwise it's going to hit and stop at the correct depth. Now it doesn't matter which way you press these bearings in or out. And again, this piece is made to press strictly on the outer edge of this bearing. Don't you love that? Okay, that's one. And again, you can press these in or out any way you want. Does not matter. We'll do this in the opposite way. Boy, that was really bad. I don't know where my microphone is on this. I have no idea. Well, I've never seen one this one doesn't. That one's really wore out. We got a couple brand new ones over here. We're putting pretty much brand new everything in this machine because of the size and the weight that it's going to be carrying. A couple bearings there. I bought these a long time ago. I thought they sold me the wrong ones. Well, actually, for the job I was doing, they did sell me the wrong ones, and they wouldn't take them back. I bought these in 2001. And I think after I get these in here, I'm going to pack some grease in them. So now we want to push these plates together so there's not a crack. We'll put our stop down there, and we'll put our bearing on the pusher. And we'll pump this for 2 inches. Make sure my stop hits. And we'll get the other one. All this stuff put together here. Now this will get them close. When I get to the point of assembling the chain case, I have a tool I can use to fine-tune the bearings and get them exactly where I want them. Now that's the needle bearings. To get the ball bearings in, we need a different pusher. Goodness. These bags are something else. You just can't rip them. These you have to push in the correct way. I had a viewer get a hold of me after he had put new bearings in his chain case, and he said, I can't get it together, something's wrong. Well, he pressed them in the wrong direction. See, we have to take this out. And we use this one. First, we got to press the old ones out. You have to press the old ones out because they've got this snapper ring on there. You have to push them out the correct way, and you have to assemble them the correct way. When you take them out, you push them from the outside in. And when you install them, you push them from the inside out. Because you push them in until that snap ring hits the inside of the case and stops. I don't even have all the cork gasket off these things. Now I'm not sure if this is going to reach. Tighten that up a little tighter. Okay, that one's out. Now we'll take this one out. And we'll press the new ones in. Again, I have that piece of pipe in there so I don't distort this cover when I press the bearings either in or out. That's one. I don't know if you can actually see what's going on here or not. I thought I could zoom in with this, but maybe not. Make sure the pipe is supporting the cover all the way around. And that's it. Take my pusher out. This comes out. And this is just the short one I put in for pressing whatever I need to do. I do have longer ones in steps, I think from like an inch difference. So I don't have to keep moving this. This is kind of a pain to move. Most of these are a welded structure. They'll have a piece of steel like this welded in here on an angle to make this one unit. These is not. These are separate pieces that sit on these, and they have a bolt and a lock nut on the back side, and you tighten them up and it locks them in place, which I really like better than the ones that you can just slide up and down by pulling these out. This is a much better system, and it was cheaper for them to make it. For what I paid for this, it is an excellent press. Now, I'll pause you and I'll move everything over there and we'll start assembling this chain case. Okay, we're back over here. I did grease them needle bearings just to keep them from being dry when you first run this thing until the lube that you put in the chain case works its way up there. And we dug out the new O-rings for the shaft. All kinds of parts in here. Oh, come here. Get rid of them. Cut these packages. Make sure you don't cut the O-ring. Would not be good. Get it to come out. That's supposed to be the right ones. This is what I use for lubricating the O-rings. It's a Dow Corning product and it's called 55 O-ring lubricant. Now we're going to want our little angled, try to get that out of there. Can't see a thing, can you? I'm trying to get this O-ring out of this groove. And I did take the plug out of the cover. Whenever I mess with those, I replace them. I get them super cheap compared to any other place, Parts Tree or a dealer. My Ace Hardware in locally here sells them for 49 cents a piece. That's a whole lot cheaper than what I can get them for from Parts Tree or any other place. They're over $2. And we'll lube this up. Trying to roll it on down there. Stuck in that bottom thread. Slippery little buggers when you get that lube on there. A tube of this stuff will last you forever. I've had this for I don't know how many years. Now somewhere, brand new chain. Got a staple in there. I don't want that getting stuck inside the chain case. Okay, now, like I said, it's been a long time since I put one of these together. Okay, this goes through this way. The side with the angles welded on them for the cables, and this is for the linkage that shifts the chain case. The clutch disc assembly goes on the opposite side of this. So this long end has to stick through this one. You got to get everything assembled to slide them both through there at the same time. And that's about it. Now we need the gasket. And this one I am gonna apply right now some of this Permatex Forma gasket sealer, slow drying, non-hardening. So if it dries, but it doesn't get hard, I don't know. I tell you, when you go to take these things apart, that stuff seems pretty hard to me. And we're just going to go around here and try to put a small little bead on his. You don't really need a whole lot. I'm surprised. I've used this tube before and it's still coming out pretty good. Usually when I go to use this a second time, it's all hardened up and I gotta go buy another tube. Now I just kind of spread it around, try to get it even, get some of the excess off. Yeah, nice stuff. Make sure I get the gasket on the right way. And we'll put a small bead around this. Got a couple thin spots down here at the bottom, but I'm sure by the time I get this spread around, yeah, I got plenty. And you get this stuff everywhere. Now, the only thing I forgot was the bolts to put this thing together with. Let's see. Got 11 of them. I got a whole box of stuff over there. I'll show it to you. That's where all the parts are that I need to finish putting this back together with. Well, let's see how long it'll take to find them all. They were still in a group. I do kind of like that. Everything is like right there. I got to start it crooked. Voila. Oh. This was a mistake. Yep, I'm gonna put my famous gloves on. I'll hear about this. Should grab a nut driver sitting right here. Speed things up a little bit. I don't like to use a impact because this is pretty thin material and I don't want to strip out the threads. And speaking of that, if you do strip the threads out in this little piece of sheet metal, don't worry about it. Just put the bolt in and put a nut on the back side. Nothing wrong with that. I guess there's only 10 screws in here. Probably be able to tighten these up tight enough for now just with this nut driver. Okay. Clean this up a little bit. That's done. Now, something else I want to do. The old bearings, I don't want to keep them around here. I think I want to cover up all that sticky Permatex. Something else I would like to do, I don't know if it needs it or not. Well, that one's pretty sloppy. I think we're going to put new bushings in the yoke. I have them. I just got to try to find them. I bought parts for everything. And a lot of them I bought extras. Here's extra bearings. There's an extra bearing, extra O-ring, another bearing, dust cap, another bearing, pilot bushing, that'll be going in here. All the parts for the front end, got some extra ones. Well, I guess I'm going to have to go through here a little slower. I'll be right back. I found them. put this stuff back in there. Now, I'm just going to throw these old bearings in the box with all them. Move this thing over here a little bit. What was that one flying? Oh, pencil. This I don't need. Okay, now, looks like about a 9/16. Right line. Half inch and half inch. So you need a half-inch wrench and a half-inch socket. These are self-locking nuts, so they're going to be tough to get off. You want to see what I'm doing? They're going to be tough coming off all the way. Now, when these bushings get bad enough, you're going to have trouble with the machine driving, because you're going to have too much play in this whole system. And not any one thing could cause an issue. It could be a bunch of them added up. These things are almost threaded on. So why they don't make that hole just a little bit bigger, and you could actually slide it on here. Oh, these do slide on. Might as well throw that away. This one they got threaded through the other way, so I'm going to have to unscrew that off the bolt. Now, if you take the yoke off, make sure. I had one viewer get a hold of me and he said my machine won't shift into 5th gear. It's because he had this put back on the right hand side of this bracket. The yoke goes on the left hand side of the bracket. This bushing goes on the bolt and it goes through the bracket and bolts into the yoke. This one they have, don't ask why. One thing, the hole is smaller on this side than it is on this side. The bolt goes through, the bushing goes on the bolt, the backup washer goes on the bushing. I want to look at this washer. Both of them are cupped pretty bad. The washers are not flat, they're cupped. That's either from over tightening it or they're made that way. We'll snug them back up. It is a self-locking nut, so it's not gonna hurt. We just don't want to over tighten it. Oh, we don't want to over tighten it and squish. Now you can't get the closed end on. You have to use the open end on this side. I could get my air ratchet out, make life a little easier, but it's so noisy you guys won't hear much. Well, this self-locking nut's really working. Well, it still seems to have a little slop. This side's, well, it still seems to have a little slop in it. So maybe that's normal. Now, I want to grab a couple boots. They are up here somewheres. And the 4 clamps. Now these I buy off Amazon. You can get them from Parts Tree. I don't know who's got the better price. It's just, I was ordering a bunch of stuff from Amazon. I get the black rubber. They're very stretchy. They last for, well, I won't say forever, but they'll last a long time compared to the gray plastic ones. Stay away from those. And we'll throw this on. We'll throw a boot on. Uh-oh. That's the wife. And again, this video I'm gonna have to break up because it's lunchtime. When I get back, I'll show you how to adjust this. I have no play in it, so I'll have to, how you adjust that is by sliding. I got a message. Another viewer. I want a little bit of slop in there, or play from side to side, not much. And we'll do that when I get back. So hang on. Okay, back from lunch, and I think we're gonna finish this up in the next video. This one's getting long enough, and I've got quite a bit more to go. So I guess we'll see you tomorrow. And work safe, have fun, and I'll talk to you soon. So long.